Hey there, and welcome. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to stop just managing our to-do lists and start actually architecting our focus. Think of this as your personal guide to redesigning your day for peak cognitive performance. Let's get right into it.
All right, let me ask you something and be honest. Do you ever get to the end of the day, or heck, maybe even just lunchtime, and you just feel completely wiped out? Like your brain has run a full on marathon that you never even signed up for? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. We're going to dig into why that happens and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. So, our story begins where the drain usually kicks off the morning. Let's just walk through a pretty typical day in the life and see exactly how our mental energy gets totally hijacked before we've even finished our first coffee. Just picture this for a second. The alarm goes off, and bam, your phone is buzzing with this tidal wave of notifications. Then it's the commute, that beautiful symphony of traffic horns and rising stress levels. You finally get to your desk, and what's waiting for you? An absolute avalanche of emails. Sound familiar? This isn't just a busy morning. This is your brain literally overheating from all that cognitive overload. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Maybe I'm just not built for this. But hold on, I want to completely reframe that thought. What if that overwhelmed feeling isn't a weakness at all? What if it's actually a sign that you have a high-performance internal engine that just needs the right environment to really shine? So there's actually a term for this. It's called vantage sensitivity. And the science shows that for about 20% of us, our environment has this hugely amplified effect. It means you have this incredible potential to flourish in supportive, positive environments, like a thriving plant. But it also means you can get completely overwhelmed in chaotic ones. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. It's kind of like a superpower that you just need to learn how to manage. And look at this. It perfectly shows the two very different paths our day can take. On one side, you've got that chaotic environment, that tornado of distractions that leads to that overheating, the stress, the burnout. But on the other side, a supportive environment where everything is clicking into place. Well, that allows that exact same sensitivity to become incredible focus and creativity. The real game changer here is realizing the environment is the one thing you can actually control. Okay, so this brings us to our core strategy. This is where we make the shift. We're going to stop being victims of our environment and start becoming the architects of it. It is time to proactively design and build a protective space that lets your mind do its absolute best work. So what are we building exactly? The goal here is to construct what we'll call a restorative niche. And look, this is not just about finding a quiet room. Sure, it can be a physical space, but it can also be a mental space, a set of rules, of boundaries that you put in place to shield your precious cognitive energy from all that outside chaos. So, how do we actually build this thing? Well, we use a simple framework called cognitive scaffolding. Think of it as our blueprint. Step 1 is easy. Identify what's draining your focus. That morning email flood we talked about. Step 2, design your physical and digital space to minimize those drains. And then step 3, and this is probably the most crucial one, you have to actively defend the boundaries that you set. All right, let's get into the really practical stuff, the tools. If you were walking onto a construction site, you'd put on a hard hat, right? Well, when you're architecting your own focus, you need the right mental safety gear too. I want you to start thinking of these tools as your personal protective equipment, your PPE for your mind. We're talking about things like headphones, which are so much more than just for music. They're a visual do not disturb sign, or time blocking your calendar to carve out these protected zones for deep, focused work. And of course, turning off all those non-essential notifications. That's like building a digital soundproof wall around your attention. Let this idea really sink in for a moment. Your headphones are a do not disturb sign for the real world. This is not about being antisocial, not at all. It's about being pro-focus. When you put them on, you're setting a clear boundary without having to say a single word. You are proactively protecting your single most valuable asset, your attention. This right here, this is your new job description. It's an active, ongoing mission. You are the guardian of your attention. You are standing there, shield in hand, ready to defend against the chaos of the modern workday. Your number one job as the architect is to protect your focus. And let's be really clear about this. This isn't some one-time fix. We're not just building a house and then walking away. This is about creating a daily practice, a system that you use over and over again for long-term, sustainable, high performance. So, if you take only one thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. High performance is not about gritting your teeth and just pushing harder through the exhaustion.
No way. It's about designing smarter. It's about being the architect with the blueprint, calmly creating an environment where you are set up to win before the day even really begins. So I'm going to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. Forget about overhauling your entire life tomorrow. Just for today, what is the one small protective wall that you will build for your focus today? Will you turn off your notifications for just 1 hour? Will you pop on the headphones as that do not disturb sign? Maybe you'll block out just 30 minutes on your calendar. Start there. Start small, start architecting,